Hey, y'all, welcome back to the Late Night Vision Show. This is episode 119. It is good to be back with y'all again on this Thursday, like we do every Thursday. And if you're listening right now on iTunes or Google Play or Spotify, thank y'all for tuning in. Please give us a good rating on there. And if you're checking us out on YouTube, please subscribe, hit the notifications so you are reminded when any episode comes out. But you can always find all of our past episodes on the latenightvision.show.com. With all that being said, let's bring in my good buddy, my good hunting buddy, and also work buddy, Mr. Jason Robertson, owner of Outdoor Legacy. How you doing?
Man, I'm good. I was sitting over here and I thought you might have forgot about me. You were telling them where to find us and how to subscribe, and I thought you might have forgot all about me, but that's all right.
Yeah, I usually talk about that at the end of the show. I thought it'd be good to mix it up and do it at the beginning.
There you go.
It is. We've got a good show for y'all today. We're going to be talking about a lot of questions about guns and ammo.
That's right.
And
that's exactly
some
right.
pistol talk. So we don't talk and spend a lot of time on that, but I know we get a lot of questions. But I know you wanted to talk about a few things, and it's kind of crazy what people will do for hunting. I've got projects at the house that need to be done that are half completed. We're doing some work in our master bathroom, and we haven't been able to take a shower in there in a month. And
I hope that means you have taken a shower in a month, just not in there.
We've got another shower, but yeah, not in that. Haven't taken a shower in the master bathroom for a month, and the wife is anxious to get back in there and for me to finish my work. But I was out on the tractor for 7 hours yesterday, mowing some hog hunting spots. So I'll jump in and do that, for the hunting, but I drag all the home chores.
You didn't spend 7 hours working on the master shower.
I did not, and but I was all gung ho about mowing.
It's priorities.
A couple of my favorite hog hunting spots that were really grown up and needed some attention. So I got down there with the tractor and mowed and dodging all the bees and bumblebees and everything else. And I don't know if I've ever told this story, but a few years ago, I was mowing on a tractor, open cab tractor with a brush hog, and it was this time of year. It was summer, and ran over a bumblebee nest in the ground, and ended up getting stung almost 100 times by these bumblebees. And I remember the funny part of it is, when you do it, they're just on you so quick, and you start feeling them hit you. Just instinctually, I jump off the tractor and start running, only to realize I turn around and look, and the tractor's still in gear and rolling towards a tree. So I had to turn around, run back to the tractor, got stung, no telling how many more times, and jump back on the tractor, killed it, and then jump back off. All this while I'm getting stung, and I run all the way to the house, which is, I don't know, a couple hundred yards away. I run in, and I'm dang near naked because they were stuck all in my clothes, and
so
my shirt. I was pulled off just about all my clothes to get them out, run in the house. Of course, kids are freaking out, wife's freaking out, and told her what happened, and she's like, "Oh, well, I'm gonna get online and see which essential oils I can put on them to make it fit, to peel it." She was kind of excited about it, like it was an experiment, and I'm sitting here waiting to see if I'm gonna stop breathing.
Yeah, die.
But I say all that because now every time I'm brush hogging, I get in a panic mode about bumblebees, and bees never bothered me before. Never concerned about them, but you get stung almost 100 times by bumblebees, and you will know and look out for every bumblebee that's in any field you go in. I mean, I'm out there looking. I'm in panic. I called you. I was like, man, I think I had panic attacks all day long because
you had PTSD, worried about those bees coming after you.
There were hundreds of them, and like I said, it's been a year since this field's been cut. There's all kinds of wildflowers and every row I went down, I was knocking bees out of plants, and I was just cringing the whole time, just waiting to run over a nest or something in the ground because it hadn't been mowed in a while. luckily I survived.
This is the excuse to tell Crystal that you need a cab tractor. I mean, that sounds like a pretty good excuse to me.
When I drive by and I see people on a closed cab tractor, I'm just so envious of them because they, the anxiety of mowing now that I'm a bumblebee attack survivor.
Oh, man, it is dangerous.
Yeah, but so I did that, and I'm all gung ho about getting the hunting chores done, but the stuff here, I'm going to get around to it. But we're talking not about that. And I know you got a couple of updates you want to talk about with some scopes.
I do want to talk about a couple scopes. I tell you, if you want for the hogs to disappear, if you've got hogs tearing your place up, I know how to make them go away. All I got to do is I got to get a new scope that I want to come out and get some footage of hogs with. And if I show up, guaranteed no hogs.
Right.
I tell you, I have had some hogs, serious hogs here recently. And I got a couple new scopes and got a little bit of footage out of one of them. And then, I mean, they were just like, hogs were coming every night. I'm like, man, it's going to be great. And they disappeared. And I hadn't seen hogs in over a week now. And I mean, I had a bunch, so I don't know what's going on. But I am testing a couple things. We're testing, actually, we got several things. Some of them, one thing that I want to mention that everybody's been asking about, I'm not testing it, but Hans and I have had the chance to use it in the field. We don't have it right now. But that is one of the new Pulsar Thermion laser rangefinder models. Mm-hmm. And we might have mentioned this earlier, but everybody's asking. We're getting lots of messages. I see a lot of guys on social media and the forums asking, when are the new Pulsar Trail laser rangefinder 2, the second edition, when are those models going to be here? Right. And part of the confusion is that they're already available in Europe. And so people are seeing that, and they're seeing dealers over there. They're seeing guys post on Facebook and some of the forums and social media with their scope. Mm-hmm. And then they call me or they go online and say, somebody's got these things. They do across the pond, right. And so they are not available in the U.S. yet. This is the first week of August.
Second?
Second? Yeah, second week of August. They're coming. We don't know the exact date. They could be here this month. It could be the first part of September. They could be here at the end of this week. We don't have the exact date. But Hans and I did get to use the XP50 model. It's exactly what we thought it would be. It is an identical unit to the Pulsar Thermion XP50 unit, except it's in the trail housing. And it does have the laser rangefinder. Looks, the image quality appears to be the same, the magnification, the specs, the features. So just that's what you're going to be getting with that unit. We expect that the XQ50 laser rangefinder will be the same way. Now, one of the questions that people have had is, I'm on the back order list, so am I going to get one the first day they ship? The answer is, unless you're number one, probably not. Right. Pulsar, told Hans and I when we were testing this scope, they said these things are going to trickle into the U.S. in very low numbers at first. So it's going to take a little bit to get these units out there. Now, hopefully they're wrong, and hopefully the shipment's 3 times as big as they're expecting. But they told Hans and I that, again, they're going to trickle in. Right. So sit tight, even once we see them. But it was a pretty good, I liked the unit. It looked good. It's got the new magnesium housing, and I was excited about it.
Great picture. Yeah, yep. It looks really good.
Got another scope that is something that everybody has been talking about for many months. I've got one in my possession now for a couple weeks, testing it out, and that is the Sightmark Wraith 4K. That's an exciting unit that been a lot of people talking about. I do have one. I'm using it. I'm passing it off to Hans later this week, so he's going to have it. He'll be able to use it. We're not prepared to go and give a full review yet of it. We want to get some time behind it, but this is a production unit. They're wanting us to test it out and see if there's any, little tweaks or anything with the software that need to be made before they hit the U.S. We will say this too. It's going to sound like a repeat of what we just said, but these units are going to be trickling in as well. The original thought was that we would have, very large initial shipments of these coming, the way that the Wraith HDs did originally, but that's not how these are going to come in. They told us that they're going to come in very small batches, about 1 month apart. So you could expect anywhere from that, 4 to 5 weeks from one shipment to the next. And it sounds like we could expect to see these, if all goes well, sometime in September. And then it would, expect it again to be, whatever, 4 or 5 weeks, a month or so before another shipment hits. And I just would not expect to see these things, sitting around all over on everybody's shelves, because I think the shipments are going to be kind of small as they, get the production cranked up and they want to do the release and do it right and make sure everything's good to go. So, so far, a good looking unit. We will talk more about that. I would expect after Hans uses that for 2 or 3 weeks, we'll probably be ready to come and do some, discussion on it and talk about it. But it is going to be, a few more weeks before we see that. But we're excited to actually, finally have a unit in our hands.
Yeah, we will be doing the full review on that. We'll be, I know I'll be putting out a full review of it on my Hansi's Texas YouTube channel when we get it and get enough information about it. But we're testing these things out, and we've got to be able to answer every question that comes through, and we want to be able and make sure that we know it inside and out. So that will be coming, I promise.
Yeah, and I want to say this unit is there's a lot more going on inside this unit than the HD. I mean, there's just a lot there. A lot more settings, a lot more features, just a lot of things, menu options. And so we're trying to play with it all. And it is, while it's a great unit, it's not like the HD in the fact where you just pull it out of the box and go fire it up and start running. This is going to take some setup, and we're still trying to find some of the optimal settings and what we like best and playing around. So anyway, FYI on that, stay tuned. Give us a few weeks, okay? We're going to be reviewing it as soon as we can, but it's not going to be in the next couple weeks. It's going to be a few more weeks after that, but as soon as we're ready, we will do it.
Yeah, it's been a busy summer. We've had a lot of a lot of scope reviews in the summer, which is usually a slow time of year. We've had a lot to talk about here.
We have, and I want to say something real quick too. I mean, this is something that, we could discuss for 15, 20 minutes, but I'm just going to go ahead and say, this has been hang on. I'm going to say something, and this is not going to surprise anybody. 2020 has been a weird year. Okay. So unless you just woke up, and you've been asleep for about 8 months, this is a strange year in every shape, form, and fashion, but it's been even strange, for our industry. And one thing that we've been fighting all summer, which is not normal, is the fact that production seems to be low. Supply is still real. No, I'm saying this backwards. Yeah. Okay. Demand is very high. Production supply has been low. A lot of times in the summer, this is our chance to get all the pre-orders filled, get all the new scopes here, start building inventory for the fall. That has not happened this summer. And we're going into fall with probably the most back orders that we've ever seen. And so it's the production is just slow. And I don't want to speak for any specific manufacturer, but talking to a lot of companies in the hunting industry, and I know this extends way outside the hunting industry, but even just the hunting industry where we're focused, and not even just thermal scopes, other things in the hunting industry, what we're seeing is manufacturing is having supply problems with certain components. And this, people go, oh yeah, it's made in China. Well, not necessarily. Maybe there's a part made in China or Japan or Taiwan or Hong Kong or wherever. But some of it's even U.S. based stuff. It's with the whole world being disrupted. All it takes is, a factory here or there not making enough of some part, whether it's an electronic part or a machined part, whatever it is. And then it just it's this ripple effect. And so we've just been seeing that all summer in this industry is manufacturers cannot get enough of what they need to make as much of their product as they want. And so supply and demand, and it's just, I think we're going to go into a fall, and I think it's going to be really lean on supply. So anyway, for whatever that's worth, that's really been the holdup all year, and we're hoping things get better, but we'll see. And plus, just add to the whole crazy mix, it's an election year, and that's just always like the wild card. So
I talked to a guy today. He's like, "Well, I just called Outdoor Legacy and got on the list for an XQ38." He said, I waited 4 months for a Wraith HD. I figure I can wait that long for a thermal scope.
It's going to be that long. I'll just tell you, it's going to be that long. It's so far the wait. I'm still saying it should be quicker than a suppressor, but we're getting to the point that I'm not sure anymore. So anyway,
that's concerning. But
that is concerning. Yeah, we just need them.
If you. We will be talking a lot more about and sharing a lot more about some of these optics and stuff coming out very soon. As always, you can find all the breaking news, all the industry breaking news right here on the Late Night Vision Show. And, whenever we get the info and we get the okay from the manufacturers and distributors and all that, we will – we're going to tell you first.
Okay is our problem sometimes.
Yeah.
we sometimes we get the news, but we don't have the okay, and man, we're chomping at the bit to.
We were talking a little bit about that. We were talking a little bit about that before the show today. We're like, well, maybe we should hold off a little bit and confirm some things.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway,
well, we are going to talk today about hog hunting calibers that we use, rifles, that kind of thing. We have a lot of people that ask, hey. What are you using? That's always, you go to any forum, that's one of always the biggest topic is what are you using? What caliber, what rifle are you using? And I'm going to let Jason go first. He's going to talk a little bit about what he hunts with, and I'll talk about what I've hunted with and what I hunt with now. But, it seems like every year there's a new caliber that comes out that's supposed to be the latest and greatest, and it's, one shot guarantee kill with every round. Now it's have you heard about the 6mm ARC? Have you heard about that?
I haven't even heard about it.
Okay.
No.
It's the new round that come out.
That's the
new caliber that's come out that's supposed to be, if
actually I have heard about that.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, I did. No. Now I remember. I read some specs on it, and somebody had a comparison. This has been a few weeks ago. Yeah. See, I can't keep up.
Did Hornady come up with it?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think Hornady did.
I don't know. There's something new every day.
It's the buzz. It seems like every year is a new caliber buzz. But so, because all the fans want to know, Jason, what are you doing to knock down hogs? What are you using?
Well, I'm going to say this first before I give my answer. If there's one thing that Hans, and I'm going to speak for Hans, I know he's going to agree with this. There's one thing that we hate, and that is the caliber debates.
Oh yeah.
We had a show where we talked about it. It's been a long time ago. I don't know what episode number that was, way back. And one thing, and I think it's to our credit, to be honest. I think it helps us when we're reviewing these scopes and whatever. But Hans and I try to be very open-minded about things. We have opinions, and sometimes we even have strong opinions, but we're also reasonable, and we're willing to say that just because something that I think is good and it works for me, it may not be the best for you. And so we're not those guys who say, well, if you don't use this, it's terrible, or if you use this caliber, it's no good. I say, I don't care. I mean, I know guys that are killing hogs with bow and arrows, I know guys that are running them down with dogs and stabbing them with a knife, okay? So you do whatever you do. And if you can shoot them with a 22 short from 300 yards in the eye, go for it. I mean, but I want to say what we're using.
The internet debates usually turn into, if you're not using whatever rifle that guy's using, then you're a bum, and you should just put your rifle up and not
That's
hunt.
exactly. And we're not that way. So I want to be clear on that up front. We're talking about what we've done, the evolutions that we've made. And I'll say this, Hans and I, at the same time, we we make a lot of changes. We get somewhere, we go, oh man, this is great, I really like it, and then something shiny catches our eye, and we move over to that. I will say that both he and I seem to be guys who we kind of wait for a caliber to be established and kind of be mainstream. I always say I don't want to buy something that I can't get magazines and ammo for. Well, in 2020, that's a whole nother subject. But generally speaking, I am not going to be the guy who goes buys a brand new caliber, brand new something, because I don't reload. Don't have time to do it. Don't, it's I've got too many other hobbies that I don't have time for. And so I want to buy something mainstream. So just now, with that caveat out of the way, I started, I think, like everybody else with 223 because, that's what most ARs are. That's what most all ARs used to be. And that's where I started. And, I really found that ammo selection was a big deal. And you can go out there with, cheap Russian full metal jacket ammo and, you can shoot some hogs and you may kill some. But if you'll get good ammo, you're going to have better luck. And so I moved to better ammo. Then I decided, I want a 300 blackout. That had finally become kind of an established caliber, and it works really well with suppressors. And, oh, by the way, I want to say one thing. Both Hans and I are shooting 100% supersonic, okay? No subsonic ammo unless we're just playing around. No, we're hunting with supersonic ammo. So, with that said, I got 300 blackout, played with some different ammos there, really settled in on the ammo that I like for that is a Remington. It's an open tip flat base. It's a great, really cheap ammo for what it is. Had great luck with that. And I just kind of got to the point that I was like, man, this is a lot better than my 223. And I was satisfied for a long time. And then I kind of said, you know what? I want to try another caliber. I want to see if I can do a little bit better for some of my longer range shooting, which I don't do much of, but I know Hans and I had been on some coyote hunts together and we'd get something hung up out there at 200 yards. And man, with that blackout, I was just like, that's pretty far. I don't know where I need to aim. And so I wanted something a little more flat shooting. And so I picked up a 12-inch 6.5 Grendel pistol. And just kind of a random deal. I felt like I'd gotten to the point that, the ammo, there was enough of it. There was enough guys shooting it. I felt like the caliber was kind of here to stay. And so I picked one up and I had great success with it. Really, really liked the Grendel. And that's where I've stayed. And I've been shooting the Hornady 123 grain SSTs. I really don't like any type of a ballistic tip. I don't. When I bought it, there was not quite as much ammo as there is today. There seems like there's been more and more ammo. And so that's really what everybody was shooting out of it. I mean, everybody hog hunting was using that SST for the most part. And so that's what I picked up. Now I'm really wanting to move to the Hornady Black. What is that? 123 grain, 123 grain boat tail hollow point. Is that right?
Yep. That's it.
That's what I'm really wanting to move to. But due to this whole ammo shortage, I haven't really been able to find any. And I've still got a bunch of the SSTs. And I just tell you, I don't buy ammo unless I'm going to buy a case. I mean, because getting 3 or 4 boxes of something the way that we shoot and hunt doesn't do us any good. And I don't want to run out and then have to go get something else and re-zero. So, but with that said, that's kind of the evolution. I mean, obviously there's a lot of other calibers and things that I've shot, but I really was on the 223, then on the 300 blackout, and then on the 6.5 Grendel. And I'm going to let Hans pick up here and kind of tell what he's done. But I'm going to say one more thing. I talked to a guy today, and he said, why are you not using an AR-10? Why are you not using one of those calibers, 308, Creedmoor, something like that? And Hans can speak to that. He's shot those calibers. But for me, I'm a small guy, okay? I am not a big guy at all. And we do a lot of walking, a lot of spotting and stalking. And just carrying a bag with an extra magazine, a flashlight, gloves, camera, all the things we got to carry, plus my rifle, with a full mag, and the way that I shoot, I need a full mag. I am wore out most of the time, sweating down. I'm not a big enough boy to carry an AR-10. Okay, I'd have to pull a wagon behind me, and so I don't want to move of anything off of that AR-15 platform. And since I shoot suppressed, I want as short as I can get it. Generally speaking, I don't want to go much below 10 inches, but 12 inches. Put my suppressor back out there. It gets me, back out into that 18-inch range, which is about as long as I want it total. Because again, I'm short. I don't want this thing dragging in the mud. The Hans and I went the other night, and when I got back, I was messing around there cleaning my rifle. I looked at the end of my suppressor, and there was mud on the where I'd literally drug it through the mud, climbing up some bank or something. So anyway, that's what I'm using today. Hans, you have had more calibers, more ammo. He changes calibers and ammo like I change socks and underwear. Okay, so where are you at today? Where have you been?
I'm very indecisive, but I just like most people. I've killed hogs with a 223. I even used a 30-06 semi-automatic rifle, Browning 30-06 semi-automatic. I've used and killed hogs with 300 Blackout, 6.8 SPC, 243, 6.5 Creedmoor, 308.
This guy owns a lot.
Well,
hog rifles.
And I do like changing out uppers and that kind of stuff. Which now I'll tell you what I'm using now. What my favorite caliber is the same as Jason, the 6.5 Grendel. And a lot of it is because of weight and size on this. You can put the 6.5 Grendel upper on an AR-15 and it'll fit on there perfect. And with the now he uses a 12-inch. I've got a 12-inch Grendel and I've got an 18-inch Grendel, and I switch those in and out. Right now I've got the 12-inch Grendel right beside me right now. I'll probably take it out later. But I've been hunting with the 18-inch Grendel for several months now. And I'm going to tell you, I don't know. I go back and forth on the length of barrel. I really like the performance I'm getting out of that 18-inch barrel because I've been shooting some coyotes at long ranges and making some long shots with that rifle. Now, that's not to say I couldn't do it with the 12-inch pistol. But it just seems like, I don't know. I don't know if it feels like I have more confidence or control with that 18-inch barrel, but I've been shooting really, really good with it. But I will say the 12-inch is much better to carry around. We're walking in thick brush and tall grass. It's so much
18 inches with a 7 or 8 inch suppressor on the end of it.
It's long.
That's long.
It's very cumbersome, especially if you're getting in and out of a side-by-side or a mule a lot. If you're walking through brush, you're banging it on everything. But, man, gosh, when you throw that thing up on a tripod and you shoot and you take that long shot, it's got so much control. The balance is really, to me, feels better on the longer rifle than it does on a shorter rifle. But, I mean, it's hard to beat the weight and size of a 12-inch pistol in the Grendel. But the reason why I like the Grendel round, it is got enough power to knock down a big hog at 30 yards, and it's accurate enough and fast enough to, drop a coyote at 250 yards. And I've been fortunate enough to do that quite a bit here lately with it.
So I don't want to, I'm not, again, we already said we're not going to do the caliber debate, but I do find it interesting because you're one of the few guys that I know that has used a 308 and a 6.5 Creedmoor as long as you did and loved them. And I mean, when you started taking some running body shots, you were, started rolling some hogs up when you moved into those AR-10 calibers. My question to you is, I'm not asking you to say if it's just as good or whatever, but I mean, what do you really feel about the the Grendel, having come down from that 308 and that 6.5 Creedmoor? How do you feel overall? Do you feel like you've given up a lot?
Hogs, there is no caliber that you're going to get, maybe a 50 caliber, but other than that,
BMG.
yeah, that's guarantee you one shot and drop on every hog you shoot. You know, you think, well, the bigger caliber, the better. Well, you might think, but you shoot a hog and or a tough hog, and they're amped up on adrenaline, they're going to still be able to run. So once I got over the fact of, you know what, just because you're shooting a large caliber doesn't mean it's going to knock them down when something else isn't. You know, making a really good first shot, and sometimes you may make a great first shot and they still run.
That's right.
If they got enough, mojo running through them, depending on what they're doing. Big old angry boar. But I don't think that I think I've gained more with this, because a hog hunt can very quickly turn into a coyote hunt. You see a coyote running 200 yards out there, and I'm telling you, man, I've been out calling hogs and seen a coyote way off in the distance and called him into a couple hundred yards and dropped him. When I dropped a coyote at 186 yards the other night, and all I could see from the top of the grass was basically his snout and up to his ears. That's all I could see because the grass was so tall. And I tell you what, man, that Grendel, gosh, it dropped him. I mean, put one right down his throat, basically at 186 yards. And that's how accurate, you're taking those long shots. There's not much holdover you have to account for when it'll shoot just as far as that thermal scope will let you, pretty much. And there's not much accounting that you have to take for holdover and distance. So to me, I feel like now there's a lot of people I've heard great things, and I've used the 6.8. I've heard great things about it. Gosh, what is a lot of people like the, there's also a new one, the 300 hammer they're talking about, the 450,
just 350 Legend.
350 Legend. Yeah. There's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
But to me, the way I feel is that the Grendel, for me, is the best all around round. And as far as ammo, and this might surprise you, because when you talk about killing hogs, you're like, well, I need the biggest grain ammo I can get. Well, it really depends on how it performs with your rifle. And I prefer a little bit, not the lightest weight ammo that you can find, but the middle of the road. I prefer as far as ammo, I've loved Hornady, and a lot of times I use Hornady, but in the 6.5 Grendel rounds, I am using Lehigh Defense. And I've been very distraught because they've been out of 6.5 Grendel, 110 grain controlled chaos for a long time. And I bought 5 boxes off my buddy Patrick the other day, thankfully, so I got 5 more boxes. But it doesn't last long. But I actually absolutely love that round. 110 grain. It's not the heaviest. It's not the lightest. It is boat tail hollow point. Very, very accurate. And, man, out of that 18-inch barrel, it's just it shoots pins, man. It's awesome. I really, really like that ammo a lot. But I've used the Hornady, the same ones you use, the SSTs. I've stocked up on a bunch of the Hornady black, 123 grain, boat tail hollow point. I got about 15 boxes of those right now, and I'm actively looking for more. So if anybody knows anybody out there that's selling Hornady black, boat tail hollow point, holler at me.
Yeah, me too.
I got cash in hand.
But I want to buy multiple boxes. I don't want to buy 2 or 3 boxes.
Well, they're going to sell you 2 at a time, no matter where you go.
I don't feel like I never get enough. You know, you got to have a bunch.
I'll take whatever I can get at this point.
So here's the deal. We're going to run out of time, but I want to talk about one more thing. I get asked from time to time, do you carry a pistol? Do you carry a sidearm? Do you carry anything else? And I do. I like to carry something for several reasons. One, sometimes you get in the woods. Hans and I are in there, chasing hogs that we've shot and ran off, and we want to go in there, and it's all about, dragging them out to get pictures or whatever. Back when we weren't doing this for, I guess you say a living, whatever, trying to get all the pictures and the content, then, man, a hog, when you shot him and he ran off in the woods, was just like, that saved me an hour. I don't have to get the tractor. Yeah. And so now I'm like, gosh, I got to go look for that hog. So I like to carry some sort of a pistol with me, because close encounters in the woods, swinging a thermal scope around is sometimes difficult. I like to walk up. If I see a hog dead that I think is dead, I've had him get up on me. I've had trouble with that. That's something. In the field, it's one thing. In the woods and the thick stuff, I can't stand it. So I walk up with a thermal monocular and a pistol drawn. And I mean, I've just had too many of them
Yeah.
get up when you get up there to kick him. And so, I mean, I'm probably look funny if you saw me, but I mean, I'm pointed at him the bit where I think he is, and I'm looking through the thermal, and I'm getting all the way up there till I kick him and see he's dead.
Yeah.
And the same thing, if I'm in the pasture, I'm not necessarily that scared of them, but I do want to make sure they're dead. And a lot of times it takes another round. So people say, what do you carry? I tried to carry, I like Glocks, and I've got a lot of Glocks. And so I tried to carry my Glock 19. And again, I'm a small guy. And you load down a high cap mag with a Glock 19, and I stick that in a Phobos holster on the outside of my waistband, and my pants are falling down at my ankles. I mean, it is like, it's just work to carry that thing. So it just, again, I got a bag on, I got a rifle on, I got all this stuff, and I'm dragging through the brush. Doesn't work well for me. So I go with something smaller, and I've got I just can't say it. A Glock 42. I was going, what do I have? A Glock 42, 380.
Yeah.
I had one, so I grabbed a Phobos holster for that thing, and I like it because it's small, it's lightweight. I don't even know it's there. I really like to carry that. What I'm actually carrying as a everyday carry concealed is a Diamondback DB9 Gen 4, and that is to my knowledge, smallest form factor of a 9mm on the market that I'm aware of, and it is a super little pistol. And I've been carrying one of those for several months. I know Hans carries one as well. And what I'm waiting on is I'm trying to find an outside the waistband, Kydex type holster for it. And it's the Gen 4 models are new. And so I've talked to several companies like, we don't have the Gen 4 yet, and things are too crazy, but we're going to get them made. So eventually I'll probably move to that, just because, again, it's a 9mm, a little bit bigger. But when I'm shooting them with that, it's just generally trying to, just dispatch them. The hog's already, if that hog is getting up and running, I'm going to shoot him with the rifle. But I mean, if he's like dragging around or kicking, put him out of their misery, let's get him down. And I'll just use the pistol, to the head. And I tell you what, sometimes that takes a lot of rounds. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I'm carrying the same thing, like Jason said, the DB9. I've got a clip that I mounted on the side of it, and I tuck it in my boot. And I love it. I don't even know it's there.
When he says a clip, folks, he's not talking about the magazine. He's talking about a clip
it's actually
that he can
called
put in his boot. So
it's actually called a Techniclip, and it mounts to the side rail of the pistol, and it fits right there in my boot, and it's perfect. But I'm going to show now. Anybody that knows me knows I'm not a pistol guy. I mean, I carry one for self-defense, and I carry one out in the field, but I don't get overly excited about them. I'm a rifle guy. I love rifles, love ARs, that type of thing. But I'm going to show it now. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to show it because I'm very proud of this. This is my baby now.
What are you showing?
This is my Sightmark P320 M17.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I showed it to you. I've had it for, I want to say, a couple months now. And I saw it in the store in the gun shop, and I was like, oh my gosh, I've got to have that. It looks great. I don't know what color they call it, tan, coyote tan, desert tan, whatever. But it's a 9mm. It holds 17 rounds, and it also 17 plus 1, and it also has it came with 2 magazines that are 21 round magazines. So I absolutely love this, and I heard that this is now the official pistol of the U.S. Army.
Really?
Is what I read about it. Yeah, the Sightmark, and it's the Sightmark P320 M17 is what it is.
I'm going to tell you, I do love Sig. My everyday carry concealed pistol for years before I got this DB9 has been a Sig P238. Yeah. It's like a mini 1911 with 380. I wish it was 9 and was that same size, but it's not.
Yep.
I just the 9's a little too big. I carry in the front pocket, and I'm telling you, I am not a pistol shooter. Okay, I'm not a good shot with a pistol, but I tell you what, I can take that little Sig P238 and I can shoot with that thing better than the Glock, better than the. I mean, I can
Yeah.
just. It's a sweet. I love those Sigs, man.
Yeah.
They make some nice pistols.
The this P320 has a Leopold red dot scope on it, mounted on it. It's the same color.
Reflex sight, or I can't remember what it is.
I think it's a reflex. Yeah.
It has a little holographic. Yeah.
Yeah. It's holographic. And it is. It's pretty. It's the same color as the rail. Looks great, man. It's my baby now, and I take it out with me whenever I'm going hog hunting. If I have to finish off a hog, and it works well. It's heavy. But
It looks heavy.
it sure does look cool in pictures, so that's all that matters.
That's
right?
all that matters. It's all about the pictures. It's
I've got a tactical
man.
belt that I wear that's got it's got a flashlight little pouch on one side that I've always need a flashlight when I'm out there.
Let me tell you something. This is not just a tactical belt. This thing is big enough. Like he looks like Tim the Tool Man. I mean,
looks
this
like
is
a
a
work belt,
huge
yeah.
belt. It's a work belt. Yeah,
So
there's
it's got the flashlight holder on one side, and it's got the and they're all matching colors. It's all the coyote tan or whatever it is, and it's got the holster.
Listen to this guy.
It's got the holster obviously on the other side. And it's a sweet little setup. It is hot and it is heavy, and but like I said, man, it looks cool. So it's the Sig P320 9mm, the M17. It's the full size. They do have a smaller size, I believe. I didn't read all about them, but this is the full size one. I had to show it because I am very proud of that pistol myself. But I used to carry. I love single action revolvers, the old cowboy guns, and I carried a 22 mag in a leather holster for a long, long time, and that's what I would use. And had a couple hogs jump up on me after shooting them several times, and I'm like, you know what? This is awesome and everything, and this is great for killing snakes and small stuff. But after having them hogs jump up on me a couple times, I was like, I need something bigger and that holds more rounds. So,
Well, this is what I told Hans after I saw that pistol. I said, here's the deal. I said, worst case, you can hit him in the head with it like a hammer. So,
Yeah,
that thing will,
exactly.
it's a weapon in itself. Well, I'm going to say this, folks, to kind of wrap this up. Again, use what you like. Use what works good for you, whatever caliber that is. We're not here to debate that. We're not here to debate ammo. Use what you like, and whatever that is, go for it and shoot good with it. Practice making those good shots. Taking your time on the first shot to make it count on hogs is extremely important. Your follow-up shots, and we can talk about some of this in the future, but just shoot good, shoot often, and it's going to help you no matter what caliber you're shooting, and really get out there and know your rifle and how it shoots. And so same thing, I would advise, my personal opinion is if you're going to be hunting hogs, you ought to have a sidearm with you. I just think that it's a safety thing. I mean, have it in a good holster, be familiar with that, but there's some times you could get into it that you might need that thing. And, as always, I mean, we don't really talk about it much, but it is extremely important. Mm-hmm. You need to be safe with this stuff. You're outside, it's dark, you're doing all this stuff in, conditions that aren't, where most people are normally comfortable, again, dark in the field. Sometimes you got other people around. So be careful with all this stuff. And again, know your weapons and know how to use them, but, use what you like and what works best for you. And we hope you enjoyed the show. We just have a lot of people asking what we use. And you know what? We may do another one of these in 6 months because Hans will have 3 new rifles by then.
Hey.
I'll probably have changed something.
Now, you need to watch what you say because my wife does cut in and out and watch these shows from time to time.
Sorry. Hans is tapped out on rifles. He told me he's selling a few.
I'm done.
Probably selling most of them is what I heard. So, no. But
actually, I got a 308 coming hopefully soon. So.
Well, look at that. See, you can't. This guy. It'll be something new.
Yeah, it's a 308, but it's a pistol length, 13-inch barrel. And
I thought you already had one of those.
I do, but I got
See, listen, this guy. Yeah. Folks, we hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned a little bit of something about what we're doing. Maybe it'll work for you. Maybe it won't. Test it out yourself and see what you like. If you want to find out more of what Hans is doing and see these videos of him knocking these coyotes down at long ranges, shooting hogs, check him out on YouTube and Instagram. It's Hans ETX, HANS ETX, Hans East Texas. You can find him there with always posting pictures of his rifles and his gear and dead hogs and coyotes. And if you're looking for thermal or night vision, give me a call. Hans and I are always glad to talk to you. We would love to have your business. It's at outdoorlegacygear.com or call us at 877-350-1818. You can find us on all the social medias, but we would be honored to have your business whenever you get ready to make that purchase.
Yep. And again, thank you all for joining us. We will be back next week for another episode of the Late Night Vision Show, episode 120. We don't know what it is right now. We've done some shows, but we don't know what the topic's going to be yet.
It's going to be good.
It's going to be awesome. It's always going to be awesome. But thank you all for joining us again this week. We will see y'all next week. Stay safe in the fields. Keep making them bacon pancakes.